So, since I've sort of been having an internal crisis on how much I've been expressing negativity, and the fact that I haven't touched this channel in months, I figure it's time to do something. So I've been doing Kids Are Smarter Than This on my main channel for over 5 years, where I look at bad or mediocre episodes of family shows that I like, and it's the only show that I do on that channel, or even this channel, where I'm always looking at something negatively. Even Norty defends when I did that, I still could cover a video I liked, so I decided to rip off Pie Guy Rules and do my own version of Bizarro Bakery. And what am I calling it? Fixing the Flops, because I really couldn't think of a better name for it. What I'll be doing is going back and covering an episode of every show I reviewed for Kids Are Smarter Than This in the order in which I reviewed them. The episode won't necessarily be one of the best in the series, but one that does the episode I reviewed better. Not only praising the good episode, but showing how they could have improved the bad one. Some of them I might stretch when it comes to finding how to compare the two. I'm still not sure which Fairly Odd Parents episode to do, so if you have any suggestions, leave them down below in the comments. Basically, what I'm going to be doing in these reviews is going through a plot synopsis, giving the pros and cons, and, making jokes. Then we'll discuss how the episode manages to be a better version of the episode I reviewed on Kids Are Smarter Than This. So let's go back to Avatar: The Last Airbender, one of my favorite shows of all time. The episode I reviewed was The Great Divide, which basically sidelined the story in order to teach a lesson. Avatar was not known for teaching morals, it was a show with a story to tell. But there was an episode in the 3rd season that also sidelined the story in order to teach a lesson, but actually got it right, and that was The Painted Lady. So for a quick backstory for the episode, Team Avatar has left the rest of the Resistance and are hiding out in the Fire Nation. And yeah, that's all you really need to know. The rest of the episode has very little continuity. So let's begin. The episode starts proper with Aang swimming in a polluted river. I wonder if ingesting bacteria is what caused him to have those nightmares later on.
It looks like we'll need to go somewhere else to get food. Assuming that'll fit into Sokka's master schedule.
It's doable, but that means only 2 potty breaks today.
Just go in the river, it's not like it's gonna make much difference. They decide to stop at a fishing town, meeting a man named Doc. Different Doc. He takes them into town, explaining that a factory is what is polluting the river.
Army makes their metal there. Moved in a few years ago and started gunking up our river.
Sokka and Katara get into an argument on whether they should help the town or not, and what I like is that both bring up good arguments. It is good to help, but they are technically in enemy territory, and they do have to keep moving so they aren't captured. They go to get some food and come across Doc again.
Doc, you work here too?
I'm not Doc, I'm Shu. Doc's my brother.
It's amazing what's played as a joke here will be played straight in the Snowman. I do love this guy though. He shows them some food, but most of it's crap. And Doc said that the factory moved in a few years ago. How the hell has this place survived so long? Katara gives some fish to the little boy who needed it for his sick mother. Oh god, my heartstrings.
Look, we only have a few weeks to get to the Fire Lord in time for the invasion and the eclipse, which, by the way, only lasts for 8 minutes.
Oddly enough, despite all the crap that happens in this episode, they end up making it to their destination with 3 days to spare. The next day, they get up and find Appa is sick, so they go into town to get some medicine. Everyone seems to be much happier, and that's because someone they refer to as the Painted Lady brought them food over the night.
Medicine? Sorry. All the medicine we have goes to the factory. That's why there's so many sick people in our village.
Again, how have you guys survived this long? That night, the Painted Lady visits a hospital and starts to cure all the sick. As she leaves, we see that she is actually a familiar face.
Thank you, Painted Lady.
The town has started worshipping the Painted Lady, but Sokka says that if she really wanted to help, then she would destroy the factory. So this gives Katara an idea. Commit terrorism. That night, Aang sees Katara going towards the village, and after she somehow outruns the airbender, he eventually catches up and sees that it's her.
Wait, is Appa even sick? He might be sick of the purple berries I've been feeding him, but other than that, he's fine.
You are a mean girl! You're a bitch!
So the two decide to team up and destroy the factory, and I just love how happy Aang is at the idea of destroying things. Sokka and Toph find out about their little field trip, but before they can leave, an army of firebenders come into town, wanting to take revenge for the factory. So after a sweet moment between Katara and Sokka, the soldiers start destroying the town. Also, I'd like to note that there are female soldiers in the Fire Nation army, something that I bet Miss Southern would be wholly against, meaning fictional Nazis are more progressive than modern-day traditionalists.
Look at that! Where's it coming from?
I don't know.
It's the Painted Lady. She's coming. They're here.
Through bending, creepy music, and some pure badassery, they frighten away the soldiers, telling them to never return. I wonder what's gonna happen to them when they tell the general that they were scared away by a spirit.
Me and my brothers really owe you a lot. Hey, wait a minute. I know you. You're that colonial girl. You're a waterbender.
Huh. So they ended up being forced to tell the truth. And what do you know? They end up accepting her. They even agree to keep their secret. So they clean up the river pretty quickly, and that night Katara sees someone.
Thank you.
And where were you this whole time? Are you telling me that you were real and you could have fixed everything, but you didn't because you just wanted to leave it to someone who has more pressing issues on their hands? Worst spirit ever. So yeah, The Painted Lady isn't one of my favorite Avatar episodes. In fact, I would probably put it in my top 5 least favorite episodes of the series. But that is more a testament to how good the show is than anything negative about this episode. But there is one thing that makes it worth reviewing. It does what The Great Divide was trying to do and actually does it right. The Great Divide was an episode that decided to completely ignore the overarching story in order to teach a moral about sharing and not holding past grudges. But it did it so poorly that it ends up saying that you can lie just to get people to stop arguing. The Painted Lady is an episode that decided to completely ignore the overarching story arc in order to teach a moral about protecting the environment, and it did that moral fine. It's nothing really that new, but the morals pulled off fine. All the characters are in character in this one. Aang doesn't lie in order to solve a conflict. Katara doesn't take food just because she thinks someone else is doing it. And in fact, it actually has some very nice moments between Sokka and Katara, showing their different personalities. Katara is more motivated by feelings and doesn't really think through the details. Sokka, on the other hand, is more of an asshole, but is motivated by logic and thinking things through. Also, both episodes feature characters that we will never see again, although at least here I don't believe they killed each other not long after this. In the end, both episodes are pretty pointless. They don't tell us much that we don't already know or further the plot or characters. But given the choice, The Painted Lady teaches its message better and tells its standalone story better. Hey, at least here they thought Appa was sick and that's why they couldn't use him. So that was my first episode of Fixing the Flops. Let me know if there's anything I need to improve on, and again, if you have any episodes that you think would be good for me to cover, let me know. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you next time. So after a sweet moment between Katara and Sokka, the soldiers start destroying the town.